So you want to be a nomad capitalist, but you're not quite ready because you haven't figured out how to have the income or the wealth that you need to pack your bags and go where you're treated best. Well, in this video, I'm going to give everyone who's a beginner 11 online business ideas from the real world, from the hundreds of people that we've helped over the years. These are the ideas that they're actually using to make those 6- and 7-figure incomes. Let's do it. Hey, I'm Andrew Henderson. So over the last couple years, we have helped several hundred people put together holistic plans for going offshore. And what we decided to do recently was go back, take a walk down memory lane, and figure out what people are doing that actually makes money that would cause them to come and seek our help to reduce their taxes by going offshore and help them put the whole puzzle together. My perspective here obviously is the tax reduction. I understand that there is the classic 4-hour workweek model, build a muse, scale it up. And obviously for some people, maybe their goal is just to scale it up to, a couple grand a month just so they can live. They're not trying to make big money. My perspective is what's driving the guys who are making $250,000 a year and above that are coming to us for help. And so we came up with 11 different ideas. I want to share those with you from that perspective, from the perspective of building that 6- or 7-figure earning business. Number one is straight up freelancing. I know this sounds like it's not a business, and I know it sounds like it's pretty common, but let me tell you what I think about this. A lot of times a couple will come to me, one person has a business, the other person has a 9-to-5 job, and I say, well, how do we make this cost benefit for you by you guys getting to go offshore? One of you is going to need to quit your job. Can you do consulting? One person, they were in HR, and I said, can you do HR consulting? They said, yeah, I could probably make more money doing HR consulting by simply calling my own company or calling some of the smaller companies that my company serves and saying, hey, do you want me part-time? Obviously, there are traditional online platforms like the Upworks of the world. What I've found is that there's a growing demand for what I call the fractional C-suite. So whether you're an HR, whether you're a high-level accountant, whether you're a good manager, there are businesses that want 5 hours a week dedicated or 10 hours a week dedicated of your services. I don't need a full-time HR person, for example, but I would possibly want to hire someone who's not just an in-and-out consultant. I might want someone who kind of understands the entire scope of my operation around the world, or a financial person or a manager or whatever. And I think that's a great way to get into freelancing, get into consulting, is to look at things from the perspective of how do I create more value by being being around more full-time in a business, by being a more integral part of their business rather than doing ad hoc consulting. Okay. The number two thing that we found, a lot of people, and this is probably the biggest business that people have had success with that have come to us over the years, is the digital product or the digital course. There are ways to create digital courses on places like Udemy. The people who had the most success, it seems, are the ones who sell their own product or their own course through their own website. Nomad Capitalist used to sell products and courses. We decided to stop doing that because I got frustrated seeing that most people never did anything with them. It's just the nature of the digital product or course. It really bothered me. And so we get away from that, but there's certainly money to be made because it's somewhat recurring. You build a product, you put it out there, you run paid traffic or organic traffic to it over time, and you can sell a product or a course, whether it's an ebook. I think that, again, the people who are doing better are charging higher prices for more robust courses, but that's definitely an option that you have. Number three, another big one here was e-commerce. There is the e-commerce of selling things on like a Shopify store, selling things on your own website. There's also drop shipping, which I think has become more difficult. And we've seen fewer drop shippers as time has gone on. E-commerce, I think, works. And what I found is with anything in life, the people who put the most energy into something are the people who have the best results. Obviously, there are guys who do drop shipping who are very dedicated to it. You also have people who go and buy these little drop shipping courses, and it's just like, it's cheap, it's easy, and it attracts a certain kind of people in some circles. And so those people seem to have not had as much success because the people who are trying to build a brand on their own e-commerce store are the ones, I mean, some of these guys make millions of dollars a year, okay? And so building a brand seemed to be the element where the closer you were towards really pushing that brand, the more successful you were, the more money that you make. On the same track, Amazon FBA has been very successful for a lot of folks. Now, when you're doing e-commerce, when you're doing Amazon FBA, there's a lot of sensitive tax considerations that are in there because of the whole fact that it's a physical product and how that all works around the world. So we're not going to go into that in this video, but do be aware if you're going to do that, you need to get proper tax planning because it's not just as easy as setting up a company and just shipping your stuff. I see a lot of people doing this wrong. But building a brand, manufacturing your own product, improving something, had a lot of guys, I've seen some of these Amazon FBA people over the years who are, it's really intense, the amount of work they put into building these products, but some of them have made millions and then they've gone on to sell those businesses for many millions of dollars in some cases. So that is idea number 4, 3 and 4, e-commerce and Amazon FBA. Other people who've had success on Amazon, we had some people who were Amazon publishers. Now, I wrote a book, Nomad Capitalist, it's on Amazon. It's not really a big money maker, it was just something that I've wanted to do since I was 8 years old. I wanted to write a book, spent 2 years writing it, we sell the book, and it's not really our business. We have had a few people who've come where their business is hiring writers. I think the most successful one was hiring writers to write romance novels, okay? Because the arbitrage there was that the romance novels are so cheap to have someone write. It's like a penny a word. There's so many people who want to write romance novels that the cost is low, and you're going to sell the romance novels for $1 or $2 or $3 or whatever it is, but there's such a huge never-ending market. You can build a residual base. That was something where I've seen people making millions of dollars publishing books on Amazon. I have a friend who has written several books on Amazon and has a very nice stream of recurring income writing books about stuff he wanted to learn about anyway. So it wasn't about being just the #1 money-making opportunity, but he's just a curious guy. He's traveling around the world, and now he's making, several $1,000s a month. Just, every year puts out a new book, and it's a lot of fun for him. So again, because of the whole royalty issue that surrounds books, there's definitely some proper tax planning needed with that, but that is one where I've seen people have some real success. Number 6, app development. I had several people who come and they build apps for the App Store, for the Play Store. This is a very interesting one. And again, there are some sensitive tax considerations depending on where you're selling the apps and how the apps function, but pretty typical thing. Now, I think everyone who's worked in apps actually knows how apps work. I don't know how to build apps, so I think based on what I've seen, I would be a bad person to start an app development business. You need to know actually how it works. You need to actually be aware. But what these guys have done, they started building a few apps themselves, then they started building a team. Seems most of those teams are based in India. But some people have had multi-million-dollar success selling apps, $2.99 at a time. Number 7 is affiliate marketing. There's a lot of different ways people have done this. It seems that most of the people that we've helped for affiliate marketing have either been in a sensitive space, whether it's adult, casino, what have you. That's a very tough area to help people with, quite frankly, especially the adult industry. In fact, I generally don't take those folks on, but I've met some of them over the years who've made a lot of money. One thing about offshore is that sensitive areas are a lot harder to plan for. If you go to some offshore jurisdiction and tell them you want to open a bank account for your porn business, the next sound will be the door hitting your face. But if you can step back and be a bit less sensitive than that and find an area that's a little bit less sensitive, then what's interesting is that so many people are afraid of anything sensitive. You can often carve out a niche for yourself by promoting an offer, like a nutraceutical even, something in that area, where, again, it's just a bit more, hush-hush at times. Anyway, what most people, it seems, have done is they built blogs and they've done a lot of organic traffic. I know we had one guy who had something like, 20 different people working on search engine optimization all day long to send people to his offers. The challenge with these is they tend to go up and down, and you're at the mercy of the person who's paying you, right? And so some of these affiliate programs don't last forever, so you probably want to be diversified. But affiliate marketing, Amazon is the most well-known affiliate program. The fees aren't nearly as high as promoting some of these more sensitive offers, but a lot of people make money promoting stuff just on the Amazon affiliate program. I tend to like something a bit more robust than 4 or 5%, but there's lots of different opportunities to build websites, create valuable content. Obviously, there's some things like FTC rules that surround affiliate marketing, but definitely a way that people have made, in some cases, multi-millions of dollars a year. Number 8, build software, software as a service. What people love about software as a service, or SaaS, is the idea of this recurring monthly revenue. You know, what's the monthly nut, and you get to build that up over time. I've had several people making multi-millions of dollars every single year and growing somewhat on autopilot at a certain point by simply making software that people use. Again, what I would focus on is something where there's a greater need, okay? I wouldn't be focusing on the $7 software as a service. I'd be focusing on something that, you know, connects with an enterprise style problem. I had one guy who built software that surrounded Infusionsoft, and he had a very high level clientele for his SaaS, charging hundreds of dollars to the average person per month. Next up is the traditional service business. And I would also put, so there'd be 2 items here. Number 1 is service business. Number 1 is coaching and consulting. The service business would be, you're going to help someone run their Facebook ads. Now, it's debatable. This could be kind of the freelancer model. But I would put service business as a separate one, because what I've seen is people build out teams. This is another area where the person who owns the business, I think, needs to know how it works. I think it's always a good idea for any business, but especially in this one. You know, you learn how to do Facebook ads, you get clients, you do the freelancer model, then you shift to, I'm going to have a bunch of people working for me. That actually could be part of a good tax plan, by the way. It's better to be a business in many cases than it is to be a freelancer if your goal is tax optimization. And so, how do you scale out that freelancing into a service business? You know, what product can you offer as a service business, whether it's, you know, SEO, whether it's, you know, whatever, to give people some value and go out and get clients. And what I think people have liked about that, people that we've helped have liked about that, is it's a lot easier to go out and promote with a Facebook ad or a Google ad, whatever, to offer someone a $3,000 a month service where the average time someone sticks around is 5 months. You know, it's a lot easier to get you can pay a lot more to get a $15,000 customer with pretty high margins than you can to sell a digital product that's $197. So the next part of that, number 10, is the coaching and consulting. Now, if you're in this coaching and consulting business, or if you followed it, you know that there's a whole industry now of like coaches who coach coaches on how to be coaches, and you see people. I mean, I've seen just in the space of kind of business coaching, sales coaching, where I'll see one person who came up with an idea and then it's just copied, and it gets copied so many times by guys who just set up these flimsy businesses running Facebook ads. But if you have something you can help people with, obviously, you know, what we help people with is the process of going offshore and tax and immigration and everything that relates to the nomad capitalist lifestyle. And I try and make our business not only about the consultative thing of where do the pieces and parts go, but also the coaching of, you know, what is it that like you actually need to get the work done, and holding your hand and holding you accountable. And I think that there's a very interesting opportunity for folks who have a talent. We've seen people who, I mean, relatively easy to scale up to 6 figures and 7 figures. And even 8 figures by offering a service and, you know, simply having that coaching / consulting model. And so the last thing, number 11, is trading. Okay, we've had people, you know, cryptocurrency has been a big one. Obviously, some people just buy and hold cryptocurrencies, and they've done very well at many points in time. Cryptocurrency, stocks, commodities. Had a guy who was just starting out and making a little under $100,000 on an annualized basis in the Forex business. Obviously, here's what I've learned about these trading businesses. There's a certain kind of person who's cut out for them, okay? I am an entrepreneur. I have big ideas. I'm a dreamer. You know, I like doing things like writing books. And I'm pretty analytical. but I probably don't have the patience to be so analytical every day to track every currency pair or to know exactly what's going on. So there's a certain kind of person whom this works for. I've seen a lot of people who have success in some kind of trading thing. What I like about the trading thing is you can easily do that from wherever you are in the world now and get it started up more easily than any of these ideas, perhaps. But there's a certain kind of person whom that works for. Now, those are 11 ideas you can use. Let me posit one other idea that you might consider if you're being held back from going offshore, and that is you don't even necessarily need an online business. I told this story. I had several different businesses in the United States. One of the businesses was kind of a consulting / sales business in the broadcast industry. And it was basically just, you have an email, you have a phone. Okay. The business was in the United States, but there would have still been a lot of tax benefits by me just putting that business overseas. In addition, I was able to, and the reason I'm doing this now is because for most of the time I ran that business, I was traveling relatively substantially and eventually full time. And so even though that business entirely piggybacked on the United States, that didn't mean I couldn't be somewhere else. It didn't mean I couldn't be offshore. Even when I had on-the-ground services businesses, we built one of the largest pool companies in Arizona. And I had a manager. We had a whole crew. And that took a while to build up. But had I decided to keep that business rather than selling it for a nice profit, I could have certainly had those people just run that business for me. I could have saved a little bit of tax. It wouldn't have been fully tax optimized, but if my goal was to live overseas and take advantage of everything that's overseas, there's a way that business could have fit in to that equation. And so people think, oh, I need my laptop business. What you really need is a stream of income. What you really need is something that is scalable, something that is reliable. It may or may not even be what people traditionally consider as offshore. I've seen a number of people who have on-the-ground businesses who are still able to enjoy tax benefits and lifestyle benefits by letting the business run itself, and they're offshore. So there you have it. If you've got an idea I did not mention, if you've got a comment or personal experience, leave a comment below. I want to know what you think about these business ideas. If you're just getting started, what is it that you need to get started? Leave a comment below. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson from Nomad Capitalist. I wrote this book, which you can find on Amazon, to distill a lot of the stuff we talk about in these videos and a lot of the stuff I've learned over the last decade plus traveling all around the world, teaching you about how to legally reduce your taxes, build your personal freedom, and create wealth faster. Definitely get a copy of this book if you want to learn more. Now, if you want to watch more videos, make sure you subscribe to our channel and make sure you click the notifications bell so you never miss one of our new videos with more tips on how to go where you're treated best. And if you're already a 6- or 7-figure entrepreneur and you'd like to put these strategies in place for yourself, go to nomadcapitalist.com and learn about how I can help you.